Mouse Hunt 1997, and Inglorious Basterds 2009 don't seem alike on the surface, but digging deeper, they share some striking thematic and stylistic parallels beneath their genre differences. Slapstick comedy versus revisionist war epic. Here's an analytical breakdown of how they connect. Revenge as a driving force. Both films center on revenge disguised as comedy. In Inglorious Basterds, Shosanna Dreyfus plots revenge against the Nazis who murdered her family. Her plan, burning down the cinema, turns vengeance into theatrical spectacle. In Mouse Hunt, the titular mouse becomes an avenging trickster, tormenting the two greedy brothers who invaded its home. Though the tone is lighthearted, the mouse's retaliation mirrors Shosanna's cunning vengeance. Both use intelligence and setting, the house, the theater, to turn the tables. In both films, revenge is not just personal, it's symbolic, representing the reversal of power structures, the powerless humiliating the powerful, the absurdity of violence and human ego. Both movies turn violence into absurd theater. Tarantino stages violence like a grotesque joke. Over-the-top, stylized, and self-aware gory Verbinski does the same through slapstick destruction. The house becomes a battleground where humiliation replaces bloodshed. In both worlds, violence and ego go hand in hand. The Basterds' brutal methods are cartoonishly exaggerated. The Smuntz brothers' war against a tiny mouse is equally ludicrous. The result: both films mock human obsession with domination cinema and architecture as characters. Tarantino makes the movie theater itself a weapon, a place where stories destroy tyrants. Verbinski does the same with the house in Mouse Hunt. It becomes a living, breathing entity that outsmarts its invaders. Both directors treat setting as metaphor for control and creativity. Shosanna literally weaponizes cinema, the art of illusion. The mouse manipulates space, using the brothers' greed and incompetence against them. In both cases, space becomes the site of poetic justice, a stage where irony reigns supreme. Comic tone masking tragedy. Tarantino uses dark humor to make horror palatable. Verbinski uses slapstick to make despair funny. Beneath Mouse Hunt's chaos is a bleak truth. The brothers' greed and decay mirror post-war disillusionment. The American dream is a farce. Beneath Inglorious Basterds' pulp heroism is a grim meditation on revenge, identity, and storytelling as survival. In both films, humor becomes armor, a way to reframe trauma and failure as spectacle. Directorial control and auteur parallels. Both Tarantino and Verbinski demonstrate meticulous control over tone and visual style. Every gag or kill in Mouse Hunt unfolds like a Rube Goldberg machine. Precise choreographed chaos. Every sequence in Inglorious Basterds plays like a stage play within a film. Precision masquerading as chaos. Both use genre hybridity, comedy, horror, farce, tragedy, to question audience complicity in watching suffering for entertainment. The triumph of the outsider. Finally, both end with the underdog winning through creative destruction. The mouse survives and inherits the house, restoring balance through destruction. The marginalized, Jews, cinema workers, and rogue soldiers, destroy the Nazi hierarchy through their own narrative power. Both finales reimagine justice not as law or order, but as artistic retribution. Conclusion. Mouse Hunt and Inglorious Basterds are, at their core, films about control, performance, and poetic justice. Each takes the structure of a revenge story and turns it into a meta-commentary on art, destruction, and absurd human ambition. One uses slapstick. The other uses bullets. But both end with a smirk and a blaze of glory, Hans Landa versus Caesar. The twin faces of control and comedy. The predator archetype. Both characters are designed as predators in human form. Hans Landa, the Jew hunter, is introduced through his uncanny ability to sniff out hidden Jews. A detective-like hunter whose charm masks monstrous efficiency. He represents intellect as a weapon, cruelty as an art form. Caesar the Exterminator performs a nearly identical function in Mouse Hunt. He's called in to hunt the elusive mouse, treats it as an intelligent adversary, and uses forensic precision, blueprints, traps, and scientific methods on to locate and eliminate it. Both see themselves as artists of capture. They transform the act of extermination into a kind of performance. For each, hunting is theater, and the prey is both victim and audience precision, ego, and theatricality. Hans and Caesar share an almost cartoonish love for their own intellect and technique. Hans Landa delivers long, elaborate monologues with the rhythm of a stage actor. Interrogations that double as performances. Caesar operates in a similar theatrical mode. His extermination speech, his confident swagger, his slow-motion entrance with gear, all exaggerated, stylized, and tinged with irony. Both characters are parodies of professionalism, exaggerated embodiments of institutional arrogance. Landa, the bureaucratic sadist. Caesar, the corporate pest control messiah. Their self-importance becomes their downfall. They overestimate their control in worlds that thrive on chaos. The predator, outwitted. Perhaps their most significant similarity, both lose to the prey. Landa's carefully maintained order collapses in the face of cinema. Shosanna and the Basterds use performance and storytelling to destroy him. He tries to negotiate his own survival, but the chaos of revenge consumes him. Caesar's extermination plan fails spectacularly. The mouse turns his traps against him, outthinking the human hunter. Caesar's gadgets and bravado crumble into slapstick disaster. Each film humiliates the hunter. Their defeats are not just physical but symbolic. Intellect and arrogance are powerless against wit, irony, and poetic justice. Both are avatars of control in universes built on chaos comedy as moral balance. Both Tarantino and Verbinski use dark comedy to punish confidence. In Inglorious Basterds, Landa's linguistic charm and manipulative genius are darkly funny. Until they're turned against him, his humor becomes grotesque when stripped of power. In Mouse Hunt, Caesar's exaggerated confidence becomes slapstick fodder. His elaborate schemes collapse into absurd physical comedy. In both cases, laughter functions as moral equilibrium. The more they revel in domination, the funnier and more satisfying their downfall becomes. It's cosmic irony at work. The universe itself laughing at control, at the symbolic function. Both characters represent order trying to impose itself on entropy. Hans Landa is the human embodiment of fascism's obsession with classification, logic, and precision. The illusion that the world can be catalogued and ruled. Caesar is that same archetype in miniature. The exterminator who treats the mouse as a virus in need of cleansing. Both are caricatures of authoritarian reason, undone by the irrational. In both worlds, chaos, whether embodied by Shosanna's cinematic revenge or the mouse's clever sabotage, becomes the great liberator. Performance and self-awareness. Finally, both characters are meta-performers who seem aware they're in movies. Hans Landa breaks tone constantly. One moment comic, the next terrifying, as if aware he's entertaining the audience. Caesar behaves like a man performing for an invisible camera, blending Christopher Walken's eccentric mannerisms with operatic absurdity. They are theatrical predators trapped in comedies of their own making, undone by their own flair for drama. Conclusion: the mirror of madness. Hans Landa and Caesar are two sides of the same coin. The elite hunter, master of logic, undone by poetic justice and absurd chaos. One falls to a burning theater, the other to a mischievous mouse. Both are swallowed by irony, the moment when intelligence becomes folly and control becomes the ultimate joke. In the end, both Inglorious Basterds and Mouse Hunt remind us that the world belongs not to those who impose order, but to those who embrace the unpredictable, whether that's a small rodent or a vengeful filmmaker.